Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about AirPods. So AirPods are now very popular, but is there a danger in wearing them? Yes, AirPods are something to worry about because they exude and produce a lot of radiation. So any Wi-Fi device that is worn on the body and is not connected with the wire is going to cause this effect. So what makes AirPods so dangerous? It is actually the level of EMF or electromagnetic frequency that is so close to your brain and your endocrine glands, which are in charge of the body's function. They control the organ function, they control what hormones the organs and other endocrine glands produce. Imagine having a device so close to your vital organs. The brain is protected by the skull because it is so fragile. And the endocrine glands are extremely volatile, so any radiation, any chemicals can weaken them. And when endocrine system is weakened, there's a whole slew of dysfunctions and diseases that can occur, such as fertility, development, and so forth. So I found two really important and short videos that showcase exactly the scenario, exactly this interpretation of why AirPods are toxic and why we should try to stay away from them. So let's look at the videos and then let's discuss.
Radiation right into your brain. You're going to want to show your kids this video. This is wireless earphones, 22, 23, it was even up to 35 a second ago. This is the amount of radiation going directly into her brain. As I come further away, you can see it dropping, 0.1, 0.2. Let's look at wired earphones. What do they have? 0.1, 0.3, virtually nothing. Over 140 times, that's 150, 160 times the amount of radiation with wireless earphones versus wired. Show your kids, share the video.
So as you saw through this experiment, the AirPods produce 160 times more radiation than normal wired headphones. If that's not a showcase, if this doesn't really persuade you, I don't know what will. Let's look at the next video and discuss. The next video will talk about the effect of AirPods or radiation that we put next to our heads. So remember, AirPods are not the only sources of EMF. If we're talking on the telephone and we put our telephone next to our ear, all of that is going to impact our brain. And they've shown scans of brains after somebody talked on the phone for a bit, and they show that this area of the brain, or wherever the phone was put, was more active in terms of heat, in terms of exposure, inflammation. Anything that emits Wi-Fi or EMFs, we have to make sure that it is not very close to our bodies. So create some distance from a device that emits these frequencies and yourself. And that way you can mitigate that exposure, because proximity here is key. So the next video is going to talk about the AirPods or the radiation, which occurs next to the brain, and how it also can have adverse effects on the thyroid. And why is this important? Because they found young people using AirPods to have these thyroid nodules that they've never seen in other cases. So let's look at this video and let's discuss.
If you use Bluetooth headphones, you could be at risk for getting thyroid nodules. A new study in Scientific Reports shows a link between Bluetooth headphones and thyroid nodules. In fact, this study focuses just on Bluetooth headphones and thyroid nodules. Why? Well, because so many people are using Bluetooth headphones, and that goes from over the ear to earbuds, and so many people are getting thyroid nodules. Last year, a study came out that estimated 67% of the global population might have them. What did they find? Of the people who use Bluetooth headphones, 12% of them had thyroid nodules. And the biggest risk factor was what the medical community already knows, age. But the second risk factor was the duration, the consecutive use of Bluetooth headphones on a daily basis. Thyroid nodules aren't usually serious, though they can be cancerous. Either way, they are still a dysfunctional thyroid. And the researchers point out that thyroid dysfunction has also been correlated to wireless radiation in other studies. So whatever you're using, whether it's AirPods or any wireless headphone, please be careful, because the research ends by saying we suggest that attention be paid to the duration of Bluetooth headset use in your daily life to reduce the potential of thyroid nodules. There you have it. Be well.
So as this study points out, it is the duration of the usage of the Wi-Fi headphones that causes the dysfunctions that they found in young adults. So duration is the same as I would explain how health works. Accumulation. So anything that we do on a regular basis that's consecutive and it's done repeatedly is going to determine our health. The same thing with all these devices and so forth. So it is the amount of exposure, not necessarily just the exposure, that really makes a difference. So if you eat fried foods every day, if you're constantly near chemicals, like you're cleaning your house every day with very, very high toxic chemicals, that is going to accumulate over time. So a lot of regulators also get this wrong because they talk about, whether they talk about fluoride in toothpaste, oh, that's not enough of the fluoride or enough of those chemicals to cause anything to that person in that tube. But they don't understand that if you brush your teeth with that toothpaste consecutively over time, it's going to accumulate. So that's how these regulators can get away with accepting all types of chemicals in different consumer products, FDA and so forth, because their research finds that that one product or the chemicals in that one product are not going to cause cancer just from that exposure of that product. But they don't at all tell you that statistically, if you're using that product, you're probably going to buy it again and use it again and again. Disease is nothing but acidic waste that's accumulated in the body over time and that the body cannot expel. And this is because the body doesn't have the capacity to take care of this waste. It is stuck. A lot of the times tumors can form to protect the body from acidity. So it creates these casings. That is basically the casing that is encompassing this acidic waste to protect the body. So high acidity in the body causes chronic inflammation, and this chronic inflammation over time weakens organs, especially the eliminatory organs. So your kidneys cannot purge the lymphatic system, which is extremely important in carrying the waste out of the body. So think about that. So over time, these systems don't work. So all this acid, all this waste from this chemistry that we keep on putting on ourselves daily is internalized and has nowhere to go. So what do? We have to cleanse the body. We have to be diligent. Small exposure to toxins and, fried foods and processed foods is not what we're talking about here. So once in a while, the body can take care of these elements. However, if we inundate the body with processed foods, with chemicals, with AirPods, radiation, we're constantly living that modern life and we're not aware of the effects of what we put inside our bodies. That is the key to basically what happens down the line, 5, 6, 7 years. And when we're young, we may not see these issues. But if this exposure is repeated, it's going to weaken that area over time. So imagine if certain areas of our bodies are genetically weaker. And then because of our lifestyle, we weaken them even more over time. These specific areas are the target areas of acids. So acids accumulate in areas that are weakest in our bodies because those areas cannot lymphatically work with this waste. They're basically degenerated, they're very weakened, they don't have that capacity, the mechanisms, they have denatured most of them. So we have to energize the body. We have to give the body what it needs to do that job, to cleanse that. And so that way we can prevent all of these weaknesses from becoming disease. But it is those weaknesses over time that are going to be susceptible to becoming disease. So what we want to do is we don't want repeated exposure of any toxin, any food, anything that we deem as not good for us on a daily basis. What we want to do is, if we really like something, we want to give it, like a cheat day, we want to, go out and have a cake, that's fine. But we have to know our limits. If you remember anything from this video, is that health is an accumulation of good practices and disease is an accumulation of bad practices. So think about that every time you think about working with technology, working with certain foods. Don't let these mainstream devices or mainstream foods or mainstream lifestyle be the default. Question it. Think about it. Do you feel good afterwards? If you're in pain, where could that have come from? What else can you do for your health? All of this is incredibly helpful and will keep you in a state of better health. So I hope you liked this video and that this video persuaded you to minimize any devices that are on your body. So even if you keep your cell phone next to your body, meaning in your pocket or in your jacket or next to you, some people put it even near their heart. So there's a pocket there, and I cringe every time I see it. But if that's the case, reconsider. And if you're using wireless AirPods, just ask yourself that question. Is that convenience really worth the risk? Why don't I just get wired headphones? So I hope these two videos really showed you the effects of wireless technology and how being exposed to it, especially on our bodies, is detrimental to health. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Consider subscribing so you can hear more of my health advice, my detoxification teachings, and how you can keep yourself healthy just by knowing the laws of nature and just by doing a few things every day that really, really make a difference. So thank you for watching and stay well.